She is a certified angel therapy practitioner, past life regressionist, Reiki master, and therapeutic touch certified volunteer. Guided meditation has been a part of her daily routine for over 25 years. This really helped Gloria in her corporate profession as a software sales and delivery leader for over 4 decades. No wonder when she was diagnosed with invasive lobular breast cancer in 2020, she immediately requested Reiki and therapeutic touch and commenced a more rigorous meditation daily practice, going from once per day to 3 times per day. She sits on the Hope Spring Cancer Support Center and Groves Hospital Volunteer Association boards, and a number of committees within these organizations. In addition, she conducts therapeutic touch remote sessions for members of Wellington Hospice, Groves Hospital Oncology, and Hope Spring Cancer Support Center, all located in Ontario, Canada, where she resides. She also facilitates 2 encourage and empower support groups and meditation circles weekly for both survivingbreastcancer.org and hopespring.com. Welcome, Gloria.
Thank you for that introduction, Lillian. And it's so beautiful to see all the lovely faces. So thank you all for joining. First off, it's so important for us to gather in community and share and encourage and support each other. So I really appreciate the opportunity to be here. And as Lillian said, meditation, mindfulness, tiny habits are all things we're going to talk about today. But first off, let's talk about the fact that who we are as individuals. So we may have been touched by cancer, but recognizing cancer doesn't have to define us. We are much more than a set of rogue cells within our bodies. Having said that, let's just spend a couple minutes talking about what is meditation and why would someone choose to meditate. So meditation is really about planting small seeds, and it is about really planting those seeds and liberating the mind as we plant them. For any one of us who have walked this journey, we know that there are moments of anxiety, overwhelm, stress. So as we plant seeds to liberate our minds, we actually change the cells, the 500 trillion cells within, or synapses within our brains. And in the process, as we change the mind, we actually change all the 50 trillion cells in our bodies. So having gone through this journey and going back to some of the teachings that really allowed me to deal with many challenges over my 6+ decades on Earth, I really feel that meditation is one of those tools that I encourage each one of you to explore and add to your toolkit, because having tools really allow us to pick and choose what can help us in the moment. So I would like you all to just sit, relax, close your eyes if you wish, and let us focus on the breath. What is the breath? The breath actually is our life force. So join me in taking 3 deep breaths. And as we breathe in, as we focus on the breath, feel the breath rejuvenating the 50 trillion cells within our bodies. We focus with awareness and intention of rejuvenating all the cells with the breath. We're going to just deep breathe slower and deeper, slower and deeper. Really feel it in your heart space, in your lungs. I encourage you with the second breath to just imagine that your lungs are where your heart is. Visualize yourself connecting to your heart space. And again, ever so slower and deeper. And as we hold that and feel the breath, let us now focus on our gathering today with the third breath. Let us really focus on our own individual transformation of consciousness and awareness. Because as we take care of ourselves, we are then able to offer it to the next. So the third deep breath, just feel it grounding. It's anchoring you. You're at one in body, mind, and soul. And you may or may not know the words to the divine light invocation. So I'm just going to put that up and share my screen so we can actually see the divine light invocation. Amy, just give me 1 minute to get my screen show. So we are in the slideshow. Can you give me the share screen? Do I just, yeah. Yeah, I should be able to just share my screen.
Yeah.
Just bear with me 1 sec.
It should be like a green. I have a green light on the bottom of my screen that says share screen.
Yeah, sure.
We practiced.
Yeah, we did, didn't we? Oh my goodness, you gotta love this. Share my screen.
Do you already have it open? And
Yes, it is.
there you go.
Okay.
And we
Great.
want it in slideshow mode. Are you seeing the full screen or?
Not yet,
Yes, we see it.
but we get rid of the, make it, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. So this is actually called the divine light invocation. So now that we have actually grounded ourselves and established an individual closed loop process with all our energy centers, individually and collectively, the divine light invocation is actually said twice, once for ourselves and once for all of humanity. I love saying it where I put my hands on my heart. So feel free, as the words are on the screen, to join me in the divine light invocation. I am created by divine light. I am sustained by divine light. I am protected by divine light. I am surrounded by divine light. I am ever growing into divine light. And the second time, I love to have my arms open because I'm seeing it for all of humanity across the globe. So imagine as you say it for all of humanity, not only are we shifting the consciousness individually, but we shift in it globally. And so the second time we say it, we remove the word I to we. We are created by divine light. We are sustained by divine light. We are protected by divine light. We are surrounded by divine light. We are ever growing into divine light. Let's spend a minute and let's anchor that energy of the divine light in our individual hearts. And if any part of this meditation or the divine light invocation resonate with you, I'll leave it up to Amy if she wants to share the slides with everyone. But also know that on a Monday at 10 a.m. every week, I do live meditation through survivingbreastcancer.org, which is located out of Boston, that has a global presence. So feel free to register there and join us in live meditation. The next topic we want to talk about today is about mindfulness. And really, mindfulness is not a new concept. It's a concept of all teachings, spiritual teachings globally that you can think of. Always encourage silence of the mind. Not that we have continued silence, but that we have moments of silence. And so within meditation, we have those moments, and as we practice, we recognize those moments more and more. There are really 4 pillars to mindfulness. The first is awareness. As we go through each one of the pillars, what I want to do is share with you some practical steps that you can take, that you can incorporate in your day-to-day activity, so that you can look at shifting your own consciousness around mindfulness. So there are 4 pillars. The first one is awareness, knowing what our minds are doing. When we meditate and we focus, we still have the thoughts, but we have moments where we can recognize the thought but not hold on to it. So as we do that, we build on it as we do any muscle in our bodies. With practice, with discipline, we are able to recognize the self-talk, what our minds are telling us, and always ask, when we have a thought, is this true? Is this really true? How do I know that it's really true? And as we sit with that question or questions, we are more aware. And if we choose to practice meditation, we actually able to get answers to the questions that we have about our own well-being. No matter what sphere of our life wheel we're in, there's always opportunity to be able to ask ourselves and trust the answers that we're given. So as we talk about mindfulness and the connection with nurturing relationships, first off, it's always about nurturing the relationship with self. Self-love, self-care, self-compassion. Because as we nurture that relationship with ourselves, then we are able to offer it to another. Insight. What is insight? What is the narrative, the self-talk that we speak on a daily basis? Do we tell ourselves that we are beautiful, we are loving, we are kind, we are compassionate? So as we practice a new way of thinking and speaking, we actually change the self-talk. And as we talked about, the mind is actually the brain in action. So as we change the brain and the thoughts we have, we automatically shift our well-being. And the purpose. What is our purpose? Are we living a purposeful life? It could just be just to be. Or it could be something that touches your heart in a way that you feel that you want to explore. And I say, just go for it. Because as you choose to tell yourself, I want to, and just go for it, it's amazing. The universe actually makes it happen. The moment we have a thought, the moment we speak it, it's already sent off into the universe. And we see the steps that occur very easily. So let us talk about some practical things that we can do. So when we think of mindfulness, I want you to kind of hold this vision in your mind's eye. It's really about the body, the mind, the soul, whatever that means for you. And look at the words here and see what resonates with you. Because whatever we choose to focus on is what we create more of within our lives. So what are we saying around mindfulness, in other words, is that mindfulness is a way of connecting with your life. It is something that doesn't require a lot of physical activity. It involves cultivating attention in a specific way as a practice. So if you choose to practice meditation, if you can put it in your calendar the same time every day, it's amazing. The body actually looks for that. And we're going to talk about that further. The more you practice, the more instinctual it becomes. We spend way too much time either in the past or the future, and we don't spend enough time in the present, in this moment, in this now. Think of this beautiful space that we've just created with our thought, with our breath, with the fact that we're giving ourselves the opportunity to listen to something that we may or may not have been exposed to before. So we are actually open to having a new point of view and to examine it for ourselves. Because in the practice and in the examination of that practice, we actually then shift our entire consciousness. Our whole transformation occurs as we spend time focused on just any one thing. If it's just 1 minute of meditation, even if it's just 3 deep breaths, because it's all about awareness and it's all about intention. So we talked about meditation. We talked about the 4 pillars of mindfulness. Let us kind of examine in the following examples how we relate or how we engage with both our inner world, so all the 50 trillion cells of our bodies, our inner world, and the outer world with all the 8+ billion people on planet Earth. And as you do that, I encourage you to do it with all your senses. What are we seeing? What are we hearing? What are we feeling? What are we smelling? What are we touching? Everything is energy. It has a frequency to it. And as we use our senses that way, we know what that frequency is for us and what would resonate and what won't. So I encourage you, as we did earlier, is to slow down, pay attention, become more aware. We actually practice relaxing the body, the mind, and help to reduce stress. I encourage you to enjoy the simple pleasures of life, literally and figuratively. Stop and smell the roses along the journey. You know, really love your favorite things. As you can tell, I love color. Color has a frequency on its own. So enjoy whatever resonates with you. Enjoy them though with all your senses. So a simple thing that we do every day, like eating. Something that we all do. Are we aware when we eat? Do we have the television playing? Is it on a news station? Turn the TV off. Really look at the plate of your food. Look at all the colors, the shapes, the size of what it is that you're eating. Absorb it all in. Because as we do that, it nourishes not only the physical body, but the mental body and the spiritual body as we eat the food, as we give thanks, as we are grateful. And really savor it. Like each bite that you take, really savor it with all your senses. You know, what does it smell like? What are the colors on my plate? What are the textures? What are the shapes, as I said before? And then savor each mouthful with just conscious awareness. So simple little things like this allows us to transform our physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual bodies during the day. You may want to put on your favorite music or just have instrumental music with no words. But if you choose to put on some music, don't forget sometimes we just want to dance while the music plays. So for me, when I'm cooking, gosh, I put on the loudest music, the favorite songs, I sing along, I dance. I think it makes a difference to our food, even in the preparation. As you can tell, I love to eat. Take a journey in your mind. Take yourself in your mind's eye, which is right smack between your two physical eyes, to your favorite place. That may be, you know, an ocean, a lake, the mountains, wherever you are, and wherever that your favorite personal place is, you've had the experience, so you can always call back the memory of that experience to the fullest. Because I live in Canada, one of my favorite places is we are so blessed with lots of lakes, with lots of rivers. Of course, Lake Louise, I'm in Ontario, so I don't get to Lake Louise often, but it's truly a gem. But in Ontario, we have the natural wonder of the world, the Niagara Falls. So I can visualize the fall, and water is so cleansing, right? So even as we have a shower, we can feel the water. As you visualize your favorite place, all you need to do is just close your eyes, be aware, hold intention, and trust that you're going to be transported to that place. We all have negative thoughts, and they can spiral out of control, can't they? When you have negative thoughts and feelings, there are 5 steps that I want to share with you. Just stop and take a deep breath. The breath is our life force, it's magical. Ask yourself, what's really going on here? Remind yourself that your thoughts are just thoughts. We all have thoughts. Are they true? How do you know? Are they really true? Will they last forever? Only if we let them. Take another deep breath and you move on with your day. Do something nice for yourself every single day. It may just be something like going for a walk, take a bath, listen to your favorite music, dance to the music, paint your nails. As you can tell, I love color. Call a friend, go to a movie, play with a pet. A lot of us have dogs or cats. They are so amazing, total unconditional love. Do whatever feels good to you. I can't stress this enough. Practice deep conscious breathing. As I said many times before, our breath is our life force. Why don't we just take a minute again and take 3 deep breaths so we can anchor all that information that I just shared and trust and know that it is there with us, and we would have an opportunity to recall exactly what's meant for each one of us in this moment. So just close your eyes again and breathe, just ever slower and deeper. And a second deep breath. And a third. So we just went through a lot of information, but know that this energy of mindfulness, which is what it is, it's a frequency, can always be something that we can do, even if just for 1 minute. Start with 1 minute, 30, 60 seconds maybe. It makes a huge difference. We're just going to go to the next segment. Unless we think we want to just stand and stretch, or we can leave that for at the end of this, is what my sense is. Let's go through tiny habits, habit stacking, habit bracketing. Tiny Habits, I hope you can see the book. It's an actual book that would be great to explore if it feels like something you choose to explore. But it definitely can maximize your chance of recovery. It can help you feel better emotionally. When we feel better emotionally, we also feel better mentally as well as physically. It allows you to focus on taking care of yourself. Remember to let go of what we cannot control. In developing a tiny habit process, it's very interesting because even for myself, I remember after my treatment plan, if somebody had said to me, Gloria, you'll be walking by yourself in nature. Sometimes I chant, sometimes I just observe what nature has to offer, the sounds, the smell, the different seasons. I would have said, maybe not. I started with maybe like 20 minutes and then up to an hour, and I could get lost in the forest. So I want you to ask yourself this question. When you think of your own personal tiny habit that you choose to on today, February 11th, that you would like to work on for yourself and shifting your consciousness and your awareness and your transformation, ask yourself this question. I am the type of person who, and you finish that sentence for yourself, you are committing to you, to no one else, whatever that may be. It may be a walk for 5 minutes. It may be a breath for a minute, right? A couple of deep breaths. So we work with tiny habits. We work on systems, not on goals. So we don't say, I want to be walking a mile in 2 weeks. We work on transforming the body, mind, soul connection around a system. Over the next few minutes, you're going to hear me talk about things like cue, routine, rewards. And that is the whole transformational process around tiny habits and how do we develop them. So you saw the book there, the Tiny Small Changes book. It's really about 3 ways to change your behavior. But it's about changing the behavior of body, mind, and spirit. So what is the cue that you're going to use or put in place as you choose to answer the question around what is the tiny habit that each one of you, every individual special person that's here today, what are we going to choose as individuals as our tiny habit for the next month? They say it takes about 21 days of practicing something before it becomes an automatic process. I find it way easier just to say, I'm going to do it for a month. That way I'm not counting 21 days. So it's all about a cue, a routine, and a reward. So visualize yourself around your tiny habits. See yourself doing your tiny habits, whatever that is for you. One of the things with my personal tiny habit, for instance, is when I get up in the morning and I put the coffee to brew, I like to do my stretching. So while the coffee is brewing, I stretch. Or went for my walk, I would lay my clothes out, I have my sneakers at the door. And then when I come back, I could put my feet up, I can have a glass of, some drink. So that's the reward. Always reward yourself with something hopefully good and sweet and loving and kind to you. Or something like for myself as well, after I eat my breakfast, I will have my vitamins. After lunch, I go for a walk. So as I eat and I think of my reward, my walk is my reward. And while walking, like I said, I may chant to myself, I may just observe nature. Wherever I'm walking, I'm conscious. I'm taking conscious, purposeful steps as I take them. The reward system of the brain, which is so interesting, is that your emotional reward is the most important. So I encourage you to make it fun. Keep it simple and super easy. It's not a long-winded, long drawn-out process. It may be just something as doing a happy dance after you finish whatever is your tiny habit. Always patting yourself on the back and saying, well done, you. Your reward could be, maybe I listen to music while I walk. And change it up. See what works best for you. And trust. You're able to come up with these. It's not a prescription. It's not a one size fit all. We're all unique. We're all so special. We all vibrate at an individual frequency of energy. And once you find that match is when the magic happens. When you're at one with yourself, anything is possible. So as I shared again, I love going for a walk after lunch. I have my runners at the door. The time in my calendar, in fact, after my breast treatment, surgery, radiation, etc., I literally put in my calendar every day I occupied 1 to 10 in my to-do list. I did that religiously every day for a year. While taking care of just my own personal healing on all levels, body, mind, soul, or spirit, call it what you will. One of the big things that we talked about is the whole social connection. Exactly as your mission statement says, it's about building community. Knowing that you're not alone, someone else is always available to say a kind word or to share something. Not every moment is going to be one of we're in balance. We all have our individual challenges, but just knowing that we can reach out to someone in that moment that can just, we don't want anybody to solve anything for us. We may just want to be heard. Most times that's what it is. We just want to be heard. So develop habits to increase your social bonding. Find a friend who you can talk to. Find a friend who you can go for a walk with if that's something you want to do. Find, if you have a pet, you take your pet for a walk, or if it's your partner that you may have, dedicate, even if it's just 5 minutes, to that social connection with a pet, a friend, your spouse. on a daily basis so you can build that social bond. With your partner, it may be things just like, cuddling or saying when you get home, honey, I love you. Just little things make such a difference. I know for me, one of the things that I am challenged with is I have a major sweet tooth. So I'm always working on not bringing those sweets at home. Because if it's not at home, then I'm not going to go out and buy it when I feel that I have that desire for it. So that's another thing, is clearing your space of the things that are not healthy for you. And you know that best. Because if you don't bring the junk food home and it's not there, it's invisible. I know for me, I won't get in my car to go to the grocery store to buy it. Yes, I do bake cakes and have muffins or whatever once in a while, but wanting to do it in a way that is more reflective and asking yourself, can I do this differently? So you don't want to not have it, but maybe have it not as often or in smaller amounts. So instead of the whole chocolate bar, maybe just part of the chocolate bar. And of course, things like eating your vegetables. For those of us, we know that they say part and parcel of this journey that we're on, we need to look at all aspects, a holistic approach to our well-being. It's not just about the physical, what we eat, what we do in terms of the walks or the exercise and connecting with people, but it's also about what we choose to do in transforming and adding tools to our toolkit, whether that's pursuing something like art or just journaling. The more tools we can add to our toolkit, the more tools we have available to help us in our well-being. So you most probably say, this is all good. We talk about one habit building on the next, the cue, routine, reward concept. But what about making habits stick? How do we do that? By doing the same tiny habit, just one, starting off with one tiny habit, do it the same time every day. Our brains, that 500 trillion plus synapses that are firing at any moment, believe it or not, craves and seeks that habit at the same time every day. It's another muscle within our bodies that we can focus on. Let's talk about habit bracketing. So we talked about the tiny habit, same time every day, our brains paying attention, our brains seeking it. You would start craving those positive habits because you get a dopamine rush from it. It's associated with the cue. And it's actually proven by heartmath.org that we do, in fact, start craving those positive habits. One really important gem, I can't stress this enough though, please develop self-compassion. It is so, so important for us to be kind. It's so easy to be compassionate with another, but are we compassionate with ourselves? So by doing all these things, we condition our brains and we give our brains an emotional reward, and this makes the habit stick. So we talked about, just to kind of revisit in very small, concise bites, cue, behavior, reward, right? Imagine though that we do this for a month. I can't wait to hear what the results are. I would love to hear from each of you. What is your tiny habit that you choose to work on? What time of day? And let me know at the end of the month how it has worked for you. Time, I would love to just maybe take a deep breath, stretch, invigorate ourselves as we get prepared. And I thought, what better gift than a poem? And of course, you can tell one of my favorite poets is Maya Angelou. I was challenged with, should I just play a YouTube of her doing it herself or reading it? And I think technology told me that the YouTube may have ads and other things, so I'll just read it. It's called Phenomenal Woman. Pretty woman, wonder where my secret lies. I'm not cute or built to suit a fashion model size. But when I start to tell them, they think I'm telling lies. I say, it's in the reach of my arms, the span of my hips, the stride of my step, the curl of my lips. I am a woman. Phenomenally, phenomenal woman. That's me. I walk into a room just as cool as you please, and to a man, the fellow stands or fall down on their knees. Then they swarm around me, a hive of honeybees. I say, it's the fire in my eyes and the flash of my teeth, the swing in my waist and the joy in my feet. I am woman, phenomenally. Phenomenal woman, that's me. Men themselves have wondered what they see in me. They try so much, but they can't touch my inner mystery. When I try to show them, they say they still can't see. I say, it's in the arch of my back, the sun of my smile, the ride of my breasts, the grace of my style. I'm a woman, phenomenally. Phenomenal woman, that's me. Now you understand just why my head's not bowed. I don't shout or jump about or have to talk real loud. When you see me passing, it ought to make you proud. I say, it's in the click of my heels, the bend of my hair, the palm of my hand, the need for my care, 'cause I am woman, phenomenally, phenomenal woman. That's me. And that's each one of you too. I love this quote. I just let you read it. Well, I just want to thank each and every one of you for being here, to bring your presence, all of you, all of your body, your mind, your soul, to being open, to hearing, to being present. And if you would join me again in a closing meditation before we open it up to question and answers, that would be great. So again, just close your eyes wherever you are. If you wish to stand, sit, lounge, doesn't matter. Let us imagine a golden white light entering the top of our heads through our crown chakra. And as we breathe in this light, this golden white light has all the colors of the rainbow. And our bodies are intuitive enough to absorb the energy and the frequency of each color in exactly the right amount for each and every individual woman present here today. We imagine this golden white light going down behind the eyes, through the pineal gland, behind our throats. As we visualize this golden white light and the energy of it, know that the colors commence with violet, indigo, purple. Some people call them different things. Our bodies are so intuitive. It knows exactly what it needs and how much. The throat, the area of communication. May we always seek to be impeccable with our words so that we spread kindness through our words with each and every person we encounter. That golden white light then goes behind and follow it down your spine and visualize your heart. It has been scientifically proven that the heart actually has its own neural network and therefore has the ability similar to the brain. So as you imagine your heart, visualize loving, caring, compassionate, active heart. I encourage you as you walk through your day and days to focus on, how do I open my heart to be an active, loving, compassionate heart? That energy of the golden white light gets absorbed throughout the body. We go down the solar plexus, our sacral space, our womb space, our creative space, down to the base of the spine. With the next breath, I want you to breathe in all this beautiful light, and we start at the base of the spine again, the root chakra, the red chakra, the place of safety, security. All is well in my world. And we bring the light back up through the spine to the sacral space just under the belly button. Visualize the color orange, our creative space, our womb space. And then a little bit higher up, just above the belly button, is the solar plexus. Visualize the sunshine, the beautiful yellow of the sun. It's the area of dealing with others, relationships, and of course, the most important one being the relationship with ourselves. As we go up to the connecting of the 3 lower and the 4 and the other 4 chakras. We have 7 major energy centers in our body. Notice the heart is right smack in the middle. It connects lower 3 with upper 3. Visualize green. I love to visualize the color green of early spring with the new leaves. It's a new beginning, new birth with each new day, with each new thought, with each new tiny habit that we choose to focus on for ourselves. The light continues and we absorb the blue, the throat chakra, as it's called. And that blue, I love to visualize the egg of a robin, that beautiful, soft blue. As we said earlier, to be impeccable with our words, because our words could be used in many, many ways. And we continue with bringing that light back up through our bodies to the third eye, right smack between our 2 physical eyes. And we see the color, whether we call it purple, indigo, or violet, some shade of that. That's the energy center that really dictates the pineal gland. And as we know, the pineal gland is such an important gland in our bodies because it determines how the mind, the brain, don't forget the mind is the brain in action. And through the breath and through visualization, and through spending these moments together, we've been able to transform our individual bodies individually as well as collectively. Namaste. May peace be with you. Amy, I'm going to open it up to you if you have any questions.
Thank you so much, Gloria. That was relaxing and invigorating, and I love that poem. I don't think I've ever heard the whole thing before, so that was really wonderful to hear and inspirational. I don't know. I know we're running a little over longer than we usually do, so I don't know if there's any questions. I did not put it on chat only with me, so if you do have a question, please feel free to raise your hand. Otherwise, I'm gonna let Doreen do some wrapping up.
I actually wanted to ask a question because I am trying to learn to meditate, and I never realized how difficult it is to quiet your mind for even a second, because what happens is you're sitting there and all of a sudden your grocery list and all these different things from work and all your other little issues are popping into the meditation. And of course, you know, those are the things that you're actually trying to get away from because they're stressful. So do you have any tips on how to continuously refocus when you're starting that practice?
I would say allowing the thought, you recognize it, you're aware of it, but then kind of visualize it just moving out of your realm and taking in, just refocus through the breath. Like if you can just do that, I think, Doreen, we have so many thoughts in the day. We continuously have thoughts that occurring that we don't even know that we're having. Right? Because, you know, our brain, we have the frontal lobe and we have the subconscious, right? And normally the subconscious is like the software. And so the subconscious is always playing. Those are the ones sometimes we don't even know that we're having. So I think through meditation, just bring your refocus to the breath. It's not that you're not going to have thoughts. We have thoughts all the time. And then they're so different, many, many different types of meditation. So, you can start off with something, just ask yourself, put your hand on your heart and say, what kind of meditation should I explore? Is it chanting? That's a form of meditation. Is it a call and response? Is it a guided meditation? I think, the perception that meditation is sitting in a specific way, in a specific place, I think that is really not true, because we are having to do so many things in our day just to live, that we are going to have towards our grocery list, because if you don't do the grocery, you're not going to be able to eat, right?
Right.
Yeah. So just explore, ask yourself. I mean, we are just such beautiful divine beings with all our answers. When we sit and ask ourselves, trust the answer that we're given. One practice that I have, that I still do, is, we have voice recognition software, right? So we know the world uses it. Imagine, it's a blueprint of who you are, your voice. So before you go to bed at night, maybe just have a little pad and paper with a pen and say out loud the question. In your case, Doreen, what is the right meditation practice for me at this point in time in my journey? And whenever you get up, the first thing that you hear when you get up, trust it. And the only way you can trust something is by practicing. So if you heard this guided meditation, then try one and see how that feels for you.
Thank you. Okay, I will.
Yeah, you're most welcome.